Hello, my dear star sisters. There's a couple of you who I have wanted to do a special reading for as a gift from me to you, and I just got home here from a little errand I was doing and had some thoughts that were coming into my mind about my own situation and just feeling like I'm getting guided about things having to do with self-worth, really standing in my own power, and coming into that place where I'm completely, I guess, grounded in my confidence of who I am as a star being and what I've come here to do. And I decided to do this spread for myself, and then when I had just laid out the cards, I thought, I think I'm going to record this. And this will be my gift to several of you. And the ones that I've selected too, there's about three or four of you who have reached out to me in different ways as you were guided and led to do. And we've felt very, confident as we've met each other long distance that we just really feel like we're part of the closest soulmate star sisters that of any of the people that have reached out to me. And it's a beautiful thing. As I was talking with Scott from Scott and Cece, that we're both in having the experience of connecting with so many twin flames, and we're seeing this beautiful consistency in the kinds of beautiful souls and people that you guys are, and that we're all part of this mission together. It's amazing. And then there's certain people who you just know that we've worked together in the past before, and we're so thankful for the connection. So those are the ones I'm sharing this with, and I just felt really impressed that whatever messages are coming here for me will also be messages that you will find will resonate for you as well. So here we go. So what I did was I put myself on this side and my twin on this side, and my question as I laid out the cards was really where am I at toward being prepared for, and being in that place that's ready for union. Because I have this, and also for him, I have this feeling that I don't want to like say there's a checklist or there's like a magic formula. If you just hold your breath and stand on one foot for 30 seconds and then spin in circles, and then finally it's the key that unlocks the you know what I mean. It's not like that, but I still just have this sense and feeling that was coming into my knowledge by some things that were presented to me within the last few days, that it's I hate to say it this way because it kind of sounds down on myself, but I'm maybe not as close as I have thought that I am, and yet in a sense I think I'm even closer than I realize. That's not where I want my focus to be. So I don't know if I'm sounding confusing, so I'm just going to get into the reading. But this is what I did. So I'm going to start here actually with the tarot cards on both sides, and usually the Three of Cups for me is a card that talks about a third person in a relationship being in the way. It really depends on the spread, because another meaning is that it's really about rejoicing and and celebrating, and to me that's what it means here. And I love the imagery here. This woman is in a beautiful belly dancing costume, and she's just feels good in her skin, and she's celebrating with, there's 3 cups here, so we usually see 3 women, and it's kind of funny because later on, after I'd done the cards here, I was like, oh, I want to share this with my star sisters. So in a sense, this is each of us in our own individual power. We're really just standing up, celebrating, and feeling amazing about who we are. And yet there's like a sisterhood in this. And so I really get the feeling for the card that's what it is. But it's also interesting that it's in the cups in this deck, there's a number of cups that have this lily that the person is in, and I just always get drawn to the meaning of lilies being of healing. And so there's really healing in this, as we've really come to this point where we're just rejoicing and in our power, in our confidence. And I also am getting a lot of this really needing to get to the point where there's so much strength in our confidence of who we are, that we're not going to outside sources for help, and that we're we're going inward, and we're doing that. And I see that here, and yet we're doing it also with the support of sisters. And so I know for my own self, I need to come more and more into that trust and knowing of my own. And I have appreciated so much the connections that I'm making, and people are reaching out to me and giving me affirmation that I'm on the correct path, because they're seeing the same kinds of things, hearing the same, or their experiences are similar. I think that kind of thing is great, but I really also am interested that most of the people who have really reached out to me as Star Sisters are not reaching out to like get readings, and you're not like asking for the affirmation because you're getting it or you trust in yourself. It's still nice to have it, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. So but I do think that celebrating in our own essence of who we are and that trust is what we are doing, and we're really becoming strong in that. I have the Six of Cups right in the center, so it really is about the past life relationship. That card speaks about the tenderness of feeling toward that person that you just really love. And in the case of this, could represent each other as in that regard, but it also especially represents our twin. And we have that affirmation. It came up twice in the spread. This past life relationship, you have known each other before. That's what this is about. And then we have this beautiful card about balancing, and I love this one because in the representation, this little clown is riding on a unicycle, juggling 2 pentacles, and he also has come up out of the water, like this pathway. It's a wooden pathway that's come up right out of the water, and I can just picture him. He was in the water, and if you're trying to ride a unicycle and juggle in the water, it really can't be done. So you've come up out of that sea of emotion that is, that has in the past maybe dragged you down and held you down or held you back, but we've finally triumphed, and we've come forward, and we've come out of that, and we're finding this amazing balance. And it's kind of a similar card to the Three of Cups here, as in somebody who's just really finding their joy and their and we're, all of us are starting to juggle different things in our life as well, but we're finding balance in that. I do like that I had big happy changes come up here with the past life relationship, so have confidence that that's just kind of there at the base of things. It's on its way. But it also has to do with DNA and karma that we're healing. We've come here to heal these past life energies that are here on Earth, whether they're ones that we took on that weren't really our own, that we took on to clear, or whether they're our own. But that's really what's at the base of it. And so that's being done. And I, even connecting it here to the big happy changes as part of that. This pairing was very, very significant for me and very appropriate, because this is exactly what I was feeling. I was feeling like I am not completely owning and trusting and believing in my own strength, and that that our strength comes from our heart, and from that knowing within our own heart, and that deep connection that we have to the divine through our heart, and even to our twin through our heart, and to everything that we do and that that we're experiencing now is coming from our heart. And if what we want to do is see both of these turn around. And I also really like the look of these two. There's a lot of connection to the look in there with the way the angel's wings are, and even the coloring of the spread, where this one is leaning more heavily on the green and this one is more on the gold. But there's just a connection there for me. And this angel of strength, we have come to embody this in the feminine way, where what this really represents too is the angel that has overcome, and we are angelic beings. We've overcome the ego in a way that we've tamed it, and it's become our friend. So our ego side of us, rather than it being, oh, we have to suppress the ego and get rid of the ego is bad, and that kind of an attitude toward ego. No, we have used it to become our strength. We've become strong out of that, and because of the ego, we've become strong. Like this lion is here showing you just how strong you've become, because you've tamed it, and you're still utilizing your ego. We're here in a world that experiences duality, and ego is part of that. And so just having this upside down right now is just showing me, Kimberly, you're so close. You're right there. These energies are here for you. It's just really a matter of belief and trusting, knowing, and not like to the point where it's so in me that I don't need to be going to outside sources. I don't need to be, getting confirmation from anybody else or asking, it literally is, that's like the full embodiment of what we came to do. And I even get I'm going to put these back down in the upright position, because I know that just simply by the intention of just changing our thoughts, we can change that. And then I'm going to take a look at the outcome card for this. And this one, because I had this come up a couple times for me this last week in readings with my clients. I am so happy it came out for me, because I as I've read it already, I've known that this was a message for me. The Arrow Master appears to help you target your intentions and teaches you how to shoot straight for the stars. The message to be deliberate about focusing your dreams and desires with intention, and about aligning your intention with spirit. Then let them fly on the wind, directed by the divine, until they reach your goal. The only way to hit the target is to allow the arrow of your intention to fly unencumbered by the eagerness to see it travel exactly the way you want it to go. You may think it needs to veer a certain way to reach your goal, but in the invisible realms, human power cannot make this happen. The divine has its own idea of how the arrow flies and upon what wind it's carried. Nevertheless, if you don't shoot, you'll never score. This is a fortunate message as long as you remember the law of detachment. If you do, then be assured that you're right on point. And that's exactly what my spirit and my heart has been telling me lately, that I need to do that. I need to, set the intention. I need to, that I'm an incredibly powerful manifester, but that I need to release the arrow and just let the universe take that arrow to where it needs to go. So looking at our twin over here, I'm going to start with the 3 cards in the middle, of, again with the tarot cards, and I have the High Priestess, the 4 of Swords, and the Knight of Wands. With the High Priestess, it's just confirmation that he's really beginning to connect with his higher self, and it could also be that he's receiving messages and connecting with our higher self, because we have done that with our intention. In fact, I definitely say that that is the case, because I also had 2 other cards that came up here. I'd look for a sign and pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. And especially because I saw it with this card as well, I'm not taking it so much with the standard meaning of paying attention to red flags. We think of red flags as a warning that something is off or amiss. And it could be that that's the case, but I feel like it's just really underscoring and underlining the fact that he is receiving signs and messages from us, from our higher self, as we see this connection here. The higher self, his higher self, our higher self, is sending him signs. And so if you are not doing that with intention, then do begin to do that even with more intention than ever. And that's really, really important as part of what's going on right now. And I will also take this as affirmation that he is getting the signs, like they are coming through to him, and that he even is like starting to pay attention. Like I get the words pay attention. So he's starting to pay attention to the signs, and he's also being asked to look for them. I have in the 4 of Swords is, really kind of the card that speaks to me about meditating. It also is about focusing on the one thing. When you have, even though you have a lot of different things that are weighing on your mind, your focus is on just one. And you're doing it in a very contemplative, meditative way. You're doing it in a very focused way. And so, maybe in the past he's been more scattered, but right now, and especially because it's in the very center of the spread, he's really, doing that. And there's also, when I look at these cards here, these are mirrored. And so really the thing that he is focusing on is that connection. And it's like, it's really, these red flags and the signs that are coming through are starting to speak to him. And so again, as I'm thinking again, the overall meaning for this spread for me is like, what is our readiness? What does our preparedness look like toward coming into union? And this is about union. And then the Knight of Wands just says, like, there's, action is coming in. The Knight of Wands is, of all of the Wands cards, all of the Knights, he's probably almost my favorite. I love the Knight of Cups as well, but the Knight of Wands is really about taking action, and in a passionate way. So taking action in what you're passionate for, and it's directly, in line with all of these things here, that there's changes and actions in a very active and passionate way that are coming. I have 2 more cards that were in the reverse, just like those ones were. And it's the first chakra, Archangel Michael, and indecision. I actually really like to see indecision in reverse, because we're talking about somebody who's begun to make a choice, and it especially relates directly to this card, which is about choices as well, about choices of inner conflict and making a conscious choice. So that choice that he's making is is also, you know, being based on his first chakra, but is currently still experiencing a block in that. And so maybe there's a you know, a message here to continue to work on energy clearing for ourselves, and then also asking the angels and bringing in Archangel Michael. I'm really getting that we need to be appealing to him to, you know, to aid and assist with this and in helping him follow through with the decision, because I feel like the decision is being made, it's there, but there's still some blockage in the ability to, you know, come through and you know, make something happen with that indecision because of the block in the first chakra. And I actually want to look that up really quickly to see if I get any more specific messages that come through on that one for me. And this is, it says you're facing some significant challenges and even some very difficult emotions. Okay, so there's also some more information here. He's facing significant challenge and difficult emotions. The energy in the first chakra may be blocked, revealing potential fears about safety, feeling of insecurity, or even depression. The blocked energy could also signal financial worry or desperation. Issues of instability can shake you to your very core, so it's going to be important to get the energy moving freely through this chakra. Again, call upon Michael for assistance and visualize his light and power filling this area and bringing you a greater sense of your own true strength and eternal stability. Meditate on the affirmation below and feel your sense of safety and balance return. And I feel like, you know, when this starts to become clear and resolved, then action will take place on indecision. And then the Dragon's Duel, I do want to read this because this message is very, very pertinent to what they're going through right now. I read it just before I started the video. The Dragon's Duel takes place at the proverbial fork in the road. That's this one right here. The fact that this is in reverse, though, understand that he has begun to make this decision. And I believe he's, you know, making it in the right way. Even though the truth is that we live in unity, we experience the duality of faith and doubt, love and fear, right and wrong, black and white. This aspect of your current experience asks you to accept that although you may be going one way, another may call you to change direction. Now is the time to inquire whether it's your ego or your soul leading you. There are always choices in life. Decision-making also solves inner conflict. If you're torn between two dragons, the one that you choose to feed will be the one that wins. Which is it? If it's not the one that serves the highest of your intentions, deliberately feed the other and the duel will be won in your favor. Reminds me of the parable about the two wolves, that the Indian proverb or parable about the two wolves, and it's, you know, which one wins is the one that you feed. And finally, I've got tree, which is grounding. And I do, you know, this is what I know I really I need more of in my own life. And I do feel like the male aspect of our partnerships are doing that right now, that they're really becoming grounded, and it's going to be a good, you know, really good thing for us as we continue to connect with them, that they have that ability to be more grounded. And just the message on that is that if you've been so this image just shows that, you know, the tree is really grounded, and that if you've been feeling scattered or spacey, that you're not fully in your body, that you can, you know, be grounded. Yeah, you guys know, I don't really see anything in the book about that. So I just really feel that they are becoming grounded through this process. And, you know, just like we're over here healing all of this karma and the stuff that in the DNA, we're healing the, you know, on Earth, we're healing those energies and transforming them. And it's, you know, because of the twins working, all of this is working together. I see this, you know, we're healing, and then we're grounding that. In that process of healing, we're also grounding deeper and deeper into the earth, which is really, really important, because we're also here to elevate Earth, you know, and help Earth with ascension in a physical sense. And so our own energy grounding into Earth is helping her as well as helping us. So it's a symbiotic thing. You know, it goes for both ways. So that was what I got, you know, from my little reading here. And I just hope that you have found something in it that you will encourage you. And so again, to all my soul sisters, soul star sisters, thank you for your love. And this one's just for you. Bye.